Hey, my name is Chris Ramsey, and I'm the creator of WebiWave. Now, in the next couple minutes, I'm going to show you why WebiWave solves so many of the problems that the other webinar services have, and how you can create your own webinars with WebiWave in under 60 seconds. Okay, so WebiWave is it's completely different than anything else for a number of reasons, but more specifically, WebiWave is created to sell more product and make the entire process incredibly simple. Now, other webinar services, if you look at the marketing for any of them, you'll see that they're all geared to holding meetings. WebiWave is not. WebiWave is meant for people who sell with webinars. Now, that means that there's a lot of differences between our services and theirs, but more specifically, we have decided to integrate with Google Hangouts for our live streaming broadcasts. Now, there's a number of reasons we did this, but more specifically, the main reason why is because they make things incredibly simple. They automatically record all of your webinars. They'll upload them straight to YouTube, so you don't have to pay for any hosting fees. And they create MP4 files automatically, so you don't have to worry about converting your webinars. You don't have to worry about whether or not the recording is actually going to get recorded, like some of these other services. And it makes things incredibly simple for everybody. Plus, it is an incredibly stable system and like I said earlier, very easy to use. Now let's go ahead and show you how it ties into WebiWave and why WebiWave does what it does so darn well. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and create a new webinar. So we're going to click the new webinar button here, and we're going to go ahead and create a webinar for my mobile hero product. So we'll go ahead and click next step. Now, one of the differences between WebiWave and all the other services is that our webinars take place in a live sales page. So basically, you're going to create your webinar page here, and then I'll show you how it all works here in just a minute. So let's go ahead and just plug in some information. So first, let's create a headline. Discover the simplest way to sell mobile web design to your clients. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab a URL for my header image. Then call to action. Now, we have a nice little editor here, but I'm just going to grab this HTML to make things quick and easy. So as you can see, we've got all sorts of little buttons here that you can use to create a call to action that is, as pretty as you want it to be. Here is the call to action we are going to use for now, though. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and enter our video embed code. You don't have to actually add this in right now because later Google Hangouts will give you an embed code of their own, but we're just going to use a recorded presentation for in this particular webinar. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the next step, and now we need to create our registration page. So we're going to go ahead and enter another headline. Going to go ahead and grab my registration page HTML. Again, we've got the editor here to make this very simple. Or if you know HTML, you can put all sorts of HTML, pretty much anything you want in here. You can have a video, you can put images, whatever you want. And then for here, we're going to go ahead and just enter the WebiWave URL for the thank you page. And we're going to click Add Webinar. So here we go. Here's our new webinar. So let's go ahead and view the registration page first. Here is the registration page. Now, as you can see here, we've got our header that we added. We've got our headline. We've got our time. And then here's the description page that we created for the webinar, or the registration page. And then over here, we have where they actually register. And once they register, they're going to go and get an email with their own webinar link that they can use to access the webinar when it's live. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here and check out what the actual webinar sales page looks like. Now, remember I said this is completely different than the rest of webinar platforms. It all takes place in a live sales page. So let's go ahead and check out what the preview page looks like. So here is the preview page. This is what people will see when they actually visit your webinar. So we've got our header image here, which is completely optional. Then right up here is where the headline will be. Watch what happens when I click Start Webinar. And there you go.
Oh, I'm blocked.
Go ahead and pause the video. This is what your live sales page looks like. So we've got your headline, we've got your presentation, which if you do a live webinar, this is actually going to be your live presentation happening right here on the page. And we've got a nice little question and answer box here that people can use to go back and forth with you during the live webinar. Now, one of the things that makes us completely different is our call to action. Remember the call to action we put in the webinar when we were creating it? Watch what happens when you click Show Call to Action. I'm going to go ahead and click this, and then I'm going to take my hands off the mouse. So what you're about to see is completely automatic, and it actually forces the user to look at your call to action whenever you're ready during the webinar. So let's go ahead and check that out. How about that? Whenever you're ready for people to view your call to action, all you have to do is click Show Call to Action inside of our control panel, and it'll automatically scroll people down to your call to action and show it. The call to action is not visible until you actually decide for it to be inside of our control panel. It'll show up, and like I said, it'll scroll down and automatically show everybody your call to action, which really gets a lot more clicks through to your Buy Now page. Now, one of the big downfalls of the other webinar services is the fact that people actually have to go and type in the URL to go to your Buy Now page. With this, you bypass that step completely, making the barrier to entry way, way lower. So using our little call to action editor, you can go ahead and create pretty much anything you want, add it in there, and then as soon as you're ready, whenever you tell them the price, whatever time you want to show people your call to action, you just click the button, it'll show it, scroll down to it, and force people to go ahead and click through. Okay, so that's the basic usage of WebiWave. There's a lot of other things you can do with WebiWave, but that's basically it. So go ahead and click the button to the right of this video, and you can go ahead and get started for $1 today. Thanks so much for watching the video, and I can't wait to see you on the inside.